Greetings to all, dear friends. How can you recognize the cause of a disease before symptoms appear indeed? So here we are talking today. How can we, in essence, see what is essentially invisible before it becomes visible enough to show itself? Actually, you can, in fact. It's simply a matter of personal perception. Moreover, in sensations, in the sensation of energy, that is, if you feel your body, if you feel the space around your body, it does not mean that if something appears in the space around your body, you will feel it. This essentially means that if an object or phenomenon appears within the space, it will have an impact on the energy present there. This energy, in turn, will subsequently influence the physical body. When you become aware of this occurrence, it signifies that you have noticed the interaction between. So we have energy fields, and there is a certain biofield. This is no longer a secret to anyone. There is an outgoing light, at least recognized by everyone, which is captured by those aura cameras. They capture something else there, some kind of Kirlian glow, some kind of, some kind of glow. Meaning that our cells, that is living cells, whatever they are, they emit some kind of glow. And this glow is considered, well, energy. Well, I would say this is only half of the energy. There is another glow, an incoming light that is defining in nature, meaning the light that carries significant information about how cells divide. This light illuminates the process clearly, and already during the process of cell division, in its vital and essential activity, it emits a certain amount of energy that state-of-the-art, advanced cameras can capture. Some modern cameras or whatever. Honestly, I've definitely worked with these cameras several times, and it's not all straightforward. Friends, let's not get into that at this moment. Let's return to how we can recognize and identify the cause before any symptoms actually appear or manifest. The human field structure, once a person begins to become aware of it, clearly reflects those energy informational damages, primarily of an external nature, that pour onto a person in a huge stream. And these damages can be observed in various forms and intensities, often manifesting in ways that are both subtle and overt. Castaneda called it the rolling force. We might call it the passage of time and the process of aging. Someone else might call it some kind of informational influence of magic and other difficulties, whether ancestral, karmic, or various types of negative information and other related factors that affect a person in such a way that they deteriorate. And believe me indeed, friends, as soon as you successfully manage to shed all that negative information and successfully achieve a kind of wholeness of these layers, some sort of closure, some inner confidence, indeed wisdom appears, clear understanding, a truly interesting state, simple at the same time, without any flights of fancy or feelings whatsoever. None of that whatsoever. Everything is simple. Everything is very simple, just as it really is. And in this state, as soon as there is any real external or internal experience that will affect the energy, which starts to distort in such a way that it begins to pull the vectors of these tissue processes, those vectors that appear, what twists, compresses the diaphragms, what triggers this process of vascular spasms, that is, this negative energy information that makes the tissue tense, twists somehow, it pulls it somewhere. You see, it's an interconnected system. You won't understand it immediately. You need to spend time not only on traditional Chinese medicine, but also on concepts like Wu Xing and other related things. So over time, it will start to come together in your mind after some years of practicing it in attempts to master it. I also dreamed of practicing acupuncture, placing a needle and everything would be cured for the person. But I realized that there are mechanisms that are more effective, much more effective than using needles. In the end, all these needle placements are a matter of what a person sees, how well they understand where there is too much, where there is too little, what kind of energy to add, and how to add it. When he truly understands how to add it, those little needles are no longer needed. We see that the system, which has its own defense mechanisms, contains a huge number of different processes inside it: internal, external, energy informational processes. In other words, it's a multi-level system, with each level influencing the others. There are channels that intersect these levels, moving various things from here to there. It's a very complex system. And in this system, there are feelings, simple feelings that reflect a person's state. In other words, any state doesn't just come by itself. It's the work of your body. In a certain state, I could tell you a joke and you wouldn't even smile. And in another state, I'll tell you the same joke and you'll cry tears there, unable to stop. Oh, how funny indeed. So what exactly do these states provide? What actually controls our body besides ourselves in reality and our own subconscious thoughts? These questions, friends, are what really concern me, what I think are very important, what we should ponder and work on in our daily lives, in our future endeavors, and in our personal and professional journeys. Sorry, but the widely recognized and accepted mechanisms for studying humans are, generally speaking, in the style of psychology and understanding. I'm well versed in this topic, and in my opinion, I understand it very well. And honestly speaking, it's incredibly great when it's there. But let's try to look at it from a different angle and see what we find. It seems that when we begin with the preconceived notion of how things are supposed to be, we are already setting ourselves up for failure and heading in the wrong direction. So maybe there's another idea. I'm offering you other ideas, perhaps. There's no need to categorize into 4 types, no need to make all these psychological diagnoses, and none of that is necessary. If you truly have a connection with your inner self, go deeper into the feeling of the space around you. The more you have the opportunity to harmonize yourself and your field structures in various ways, the less it matters where you are and in different situations. Wherever you go, everything around you harmonizes. If this energy is stolen, if this energy is taken away, well, for everything to be fine there, it would be strange, as they say, according to the laws. Archimedes, somewhere more, somewhere less. Therefore, it makes sense to take care of your energy and overall well-being, to thoroughly explore this topic, and to understand what various channels you have available. There is heaven, there is earth. Chinese character for human heaven and earth. What does heaven and earth essentially mean? It is the informational interaction between the heaven and the earth that gives rise to humans. This is indeed energy. This is indeed information. That is, the heavenly image came to earth and incarnated. The earth slowly and gradually took on this form, came to life over a long period of time and began to think. But if they kept wrapping her up, hypnotizing her with ideas, she eventually forgot where she came from, why she came, and what she even wants here. Friends, it's up to you to decide. There's so much going on these days, it's hard to keep track of everything. But in my opinion, probably no one wants to get sick. Really. No one wants to fall apart, suffer, with all the snot everywhere, those scary viruses and all that. But in reality, destructive information has come. You still have at least a week. You wasted this entire week. She mysteriously fell into the seemingly etheric layer for at least approximately 3 whole days. 3 days have indeed passed, and now the physical body is gradually and slowly beginning to deteriorate. Well, where were you looking all this time, as they say? You should have done something. The idea that it would all just happen on its own. Everything is in goodness and love, friends. Here there is love. It is all-encompassing. Everything is made of it. Yes, yes, indeed, everything is actually made of it. But you are far from it. And those who ended up there, most often through keyholes, psychotropic drugs, or some of their own strange states, it is important to understand that after seeing this, there is no point in staying there. You saw, You learned, well done, now apply the knowledge in life. Let it definitely work for you if you absolutely have it. Yes, woven from light, from love. But this is indeed a different level. It is not truly the level of the social plan. It is not actually the level of your physical material plan in which you live here and now in reality. If you can indeed figure this out right here and right now, well, as they often say, you will be highly respected right there too. And if you came there but everything is falling apart here, you are not needed there with such disorganization. Everyone is looking for an organization that will help them continue to acquire and multiply their potentials, and to keep growing and developing, and consistently. And if there is no proper organization, everything falls apart. You can achieve this proper organization only when you calm your mind in a proper manner. You will calm your mind only when you see it. And you will see it only when you observe it. When you observe your body posture, your emotions, your deep inner currents, secondary benefits, tertiary benefits, benefits after benefits, and something else, ideas about ideas. That is indeed, all of this doesn't just come out of nowhere. It all actually exists. And if you consciously work towards seeing it, you will be able to do something about it. If you can't even see it and it's just mechanically working inside you, well, that's it. What's there to talk about? That's how mechanical you are, and indeed everything there works on its own. Therefore, I say indeed, friends, it is possible and necessary to go into the feeling, to go into deeply experiencing every sensation of your field structure. You need to understand that what you are feeling is most likely indeed your etheric layer. It is most likely your biofield, which changes very quickly. And you don't need to dwell on this too much. This is not really pro-Qigong. We definitely need to go further. We absolutely need to go even further, more deeply into expansion, into calmness, into some levels of inner silence. And as you go there, venturing deeper and deeper, you can eventually reach a profound sense of calmness, a state of tranquility where everything feels perfectly right and in its rightful place. In reality, everything is as it should be. You understand why it is like this. You start to see these chains, causal and situational sequences, and connections and patterns. You begin to understand them. So it's because of this, because of this, because of this. So if it was like this, well, it's roughly clear and how it will move forward. And the deeper and quieter your mind becomes, the better it can foresee how everything will unfold, showing you through certain images. Obviously, every clairvoyant who steps a bit further sees the end of the world right away, while others see the opposite, that we are all about to ascend and move into the age of Aquarius, and that's it. All the schools are spinning. Now will be 3 days without light, and then we'll take off. But somehow we're not taking off anywhere, and the 3 days without light haven't come. And the end of the world doesn't happen, right? No matter how clearly it's seen and no matter who predicts it. It's very clear that everything is indeed moving along somewhat slowly, right? The trend is somewhat extraordinary and unusual. But as they say, the best moments come when humanity is faced with the question of survival. It is precisely in these moments that the next turn of evolution occurs, perhaps. It is precisely in these critical and defining moments, when there is a real and imminent threat to life and existence, that a significant and transformative quantum leap can occur among individuals within the population. This means that the internal structure of the population may somehow undergo a fundamental change or transformation, because as it currently stands, it definitely cannot withstand or bear the immense and overwhelming informational load that this population carries and endures. If there is a comprehensive understanding of what is truly around you and how it actually happens, then you might be interested in why exactly you are the way that you are. Why do all the processes that happen to you? Could it have happened differently? It could have. And why are you here while others are there? Many friends indeed. In fact, right now, currently, many people have a lot of chronic illnesses. That is, we see that even at a fairly young age, most people already start experiencing physiological difficulties in various ways and forms, especially as they grow older. And by 40, by 50, it's all about some pills. So friends, what else can I definitely tell you? In my opinion, nothing can be more important than real work on oneself. Well, on the other hand, whether you want it or not, whether you know it or not, evolution is doing its work through you one way or another. This process rigorously tests and challenges every individual, assessing their viability, resilience, and ability to handle intense pressure and stressful situations effectively. Information can be informational, mental, or some other type, and depending on how well this structure is organized and can bear the load, which is growing at an incredible rate, the structure remains intact if it can handle this load successfully. For instance, if we consider a mental structure, its ability to manage stress is crucial. And if she can't bear it, she breaks down. That's how it is indeed, my friends. I highly recommend everyone to take some time every single day to meditate with us and consistently work on themselves to move forward in their lives, and diligently and make sure to carefully monitor those negative informational manifestations that can potentially serve as a foundation for your destruction. Remove them before they start negatively and slightly affecting your physical body,